Warning.
Watch very closely now. 3, 2, 1. Bzow! Check that out.
The following podcast features terrible jokes.
You know you can use Hot Wheels cars when you need to make a saving throw in D&D? Every car is die-cast.
Usually about board games.
We want the fun. Gotta have that fun.
Must insist that no one attempt to recreate any joke performed on this podcast.
We had less technical issues than $1 million company.
All right!
This is Boards and Swords.
Good evening, everyone. Say good evening, Oscar. Welcome to Boards and Swords. This is a podcast featuring bad jokes, good folks, and some tabletop games. I'm one of your hosts. My name is Chris Renshaw, and I'm going to fumble around and figure out where the button is. There it is. There's Mr. Philip Herbig.
What's going on, everybody? Hey, welcome to February.
Yeah.
We need that as a button. It's been a while.
It's been a while. I keep saying it, that I need to make it a button.
We have to do it like the laugh, though. Like we both have to do a little harmonizing.
Yeah. That's it. We just need to
version.
both of us. It's
Exactly,
us saying
yeah.
it.
Well, that's because I'm not all up in my mic beetle. So I wasn't enunciating. Are we about to disable video? I saw that.
No, I was an increase video. That's all.
Right clicking on my face.
Yeah.
Get rid of that shiny part, right? If you can do that, right click there and just
remove.
yeah,
Just the AI that.
remove glare.
Might as well get
That would be a proper use for AI.
Oh man.
Help the viewers handle all this.
Yeah. No, we just get you. I mean, you know what's cheaper than AI? We just get you some makeup.
Nah,
I mean,
cheaper
like,
than
look at-
AI could be a voice only podcast.
No, what we need to do is just make VTuber models.
Yes, that'd be great.
New Patreon goal. Oh man, but we should probably get to some news.
News.
I forgot. That's the one button that doesn't work. Man. Okay. So I have to lean over and around because Oscar is right in front of the stream deck. I read a story about farmers that discovered their grains weren't growing as much protective casings as they were before, so they hid the evidence. Or, as you might say, they read the truth. I know.
I was going for crickets eat crops, but
Yeah. You could both be 20-year-old casters, but leave the cats in, then change the animal to only dice. There we go. All right. So Cole Wehrle, the designer of Root and Arcs, and style-defining artist Kyle Ferrin are leaving Leader Studios to form their own new board game studio. So the creator of Leader Games, breakout success, Root, and the artist whose style has become synonymous with the company's games, left to start their own board game studio along with the other staff from the Minnesota-based publisher. So they're launched Buried Giant Studios with Wehrle's brother Drew and former Leader director of operations Ted Kaya, who left. And I remember, I don't know if we covered it in the show, if this is one of the news stories that made it. But yeah, there was a thing at the end of the month where there was a Kickstarter that they were doing that they kind of it was up and coming, and before they launched it, they said, hey, this isn't going to happen because the person who made the game is taking it elsewhere. This game is no longer with Leader Games. So now we know where it's going. It's going to this Buried Giant Studios. So, yeah, so other people, there's a whole lot of people in here. The Exodus will leave Leader with a design and development team comprising company founder Patrick Leader, the creator of its debut release Vast the Crystal Caverns, and Nick Brockman, who's worked on expansions for Root, Ahoy, and Fort, and solo game design specialist Liz Davidson. So, yeah, it was kind of out of nowhere, and especially the way it was kind of thrown out there, it made you want to kind of be like, uh-oh, is something happening over at Leader Games? But I really think this is just more of like they wanted to do their own thing, and maybe it was like maybe there were games that, Patrick and Leader Games weren't going down this way, and they're like, but I want to go this way. And it's like, but we want to go this way. So he's like, fine, I'm going to start my own company.
We're going to start our own game company.
I knew
Blackjack.
it. Yep. There it is.
You surprised it took me that long to get there?
No. Facing a similar success, any other company would have mandated a steady stream of tchotchkes and derivative expansions. However, Patrick had the confidence to let us set our sight on farther horizons. Talking about Root. He offered every team member room to explore their ideas and supported each and every one of my own projects. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. So this is kind of leading what what I was saying here. At the same time, these games offered a challenge for the creative direction of the company and for Patrick's original vision for Leader Games, which is probably like he was getting pinholed down specific games, especially like Root when it's like as big as it was, and it was like, okay, well, we got to structure our year around the next big Root expansion and whatnot. And he's, maybe it's like, well, maybe I don't want to do that, and so. He's like, well, it's your game. You do it. And I'm going to go back to doing the games that I like to do. So maybe it's the reverse of what I was saying, but sorry, a smudge on the monitor. But yeah, it looks like I suppose it shouldn't surprise anyone that Patrick and his team would find a way to innovate in a moment like this. So yeah, I mean, I'm very curious to see what happens here next, but it seems like this is probably one of the most what's the word? Peaceful kind of breaks. Like everyone's kind of
separation.
Yeah. So many jokes I could make that I'm not going to. We're gonna talk about that later.
All right.
Just as a heads up for everyone, we are going to do bonus bits after this live. And they're going to be a free for everyone bonus bits. Told Philip we should do like a state of the podcast kind of thing of like what we want to do this year and what we liked about last year. So, but anyways, before we get to that, if Iron Man built an escape boat, would it be a Starcraft? So, Archon Studios is sharing their Founders Edition set details for the Starcraft wargame. Let me get past all the... Holy crap, there's so many ads on this page. This right here. This is the Ready Player One of like we figured out that we can sell 76.8% of the UI before inducing seizures.
Need to build a pie hole and
there
filter all the ads out.
Now I can actually now you can actually see. Ooh, I can even blow it up further. All right. So we got set details on the StarCraft minis game. Okay, those are just... I know these are Zerg, but that's like... Has it ever been more obvious how close StarCraft is to...
How legally distinct?
Yeah. Then like, look, those are clearly Tyranids.
those are Tyranids.
Like...
That's a Space Marine.
Yeah.
That's a Dreadnought.
Yeah. Like... I mean, this is like a Dreadnought cross with like some Votan stuff. Maybe. Yeah. But like, it's like if you just sent this picture, to me, and I'd be like, oh, those are some third-party models for Warcraft.
Oh, and they're going off the StarCraft 2. Oh, no, because she was Queen of Blades.
That was the expansion, or was it the end of the first game? I think it might have been
the very end of the first game.
Yeah. Looks like, 40 by proxy. Yeah. Biggest reveal was the massive 2-player starter box coming out for StarCraft, which contains 2 huge armies for you to dive right into the game. This will be limited to the pre-order period. More on that later, but it gives a full-on game in a box. So you can start playing right out of the box. 2 1,000-point armies, which is enough to play your small format games, covering both the deadly threat of the Zerg and the heavily armored Terrans. Comes with a bunch of terrain. Wait, did it show terrain in there? Oh, I guess it is like some little walls.
The extra picture.
Oh, is there a second? Oh, I didn't even see that.
Yeah. Pop that up there, man. That's got some cool.
Yeah.
It's walls, and some trees.
It's hard for me to put it up on the screen, but let's see. Some elements of the miniatures will also be clear plastic, so you could play with them as they come, or give them a quick wash, and they'll be ready to go. You, of course, could paint them fully, as you see above. Blue for the Terrans, purple for the Zerg. The clear plastic is kind of nifty. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's going to be a limited product, so it won't be as quite expensive. So as it's quite expensive for Archon to manufacture. Like maybe a new 2-player starter set exactly like this. So the second of the big founder sets is for the third StarCraft faction, the Protoss. Okay, so it's a 1-player. So you either get Protoss by yourself, or you get or you get the Terrans and see, like that is cool. See, this is like Protoss, I feel like, is where we drift from the 40K a little bit more. Like, I know it's supposed to be the Eldar equivalent, but like that looks a lot better.
It does.
Like, I want this for my 40K games though. Like, or I just want to like build and paint like that little crystal thingy.
Oh, the pylon?
Yes, man. The pylon. I must. You know what? I must construct additional pylons. That's what I'm hearing here. Oh, so we got a roadmap too. So it looks like shipping April to May. It looks like we get an army builder. So it looks like a lot of cool stuff. I'm not buying it, but I'd try it. I feel like StarCraft's got to be a very limited thing because there's only so many units. Like, even if you include everything, that's only 5 games. And even then, 5 games were most of the units were the same.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, that's a
like there were some. Didn't Wings of Liberty have a cat?
I don't remember. I still like Rusty Beale's comment. That's a better roadmap than 2025 tanks. So they already outdoing Games Workshop there. But yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see how it plays. I've never been like I've played StarCraft. I've never been like a huge StarCraft fan. Like, I like Blizzard games. It was more of like gave me something to do in between WoW expansions kind of thing. Yeah, it's the problem.
Oh, okay, here. Yeah, in StarCraft 2 Wings of Liberty, the cat unit refers to the Predator. It's a mechanical cat-like anti-infantry specialist unit.
Yeah.
It was one of those ones you had to buy with your research points you were earning throughout the campaign.
Right. So, Rusty Beetle says same will probably happen with Halo. Talking about the problem with IPs you're pressed once you cover the main groups. Halo's got a benefit, and that there was a big part of Halo was customizing your guy, where it was like all the different helmets, all the different guns. So it's just like you can just keep putting out the same mini, but with like different weapons, and it would still set like they probably could have made the whole game be nothing but Spartans. Granted, it wouldn't do as well as it is as now, like, you know, with like all the brutes and whatnot. But like, it could be just Spartans, and they just put out new releases where it's like, now it's this armor with these guns. Like, I don't think we've gotten a rocket launcher mini yet. Because like when it happens, I'm buying like 4 of those packs just so I can have 4 rocket launcher dudes on my team. So, well, I mean, you're always going to get, you know, Philip a little bit, or I'm always going to be a little bit louder than Philip. There, I can
Chris
turn.
is alone in his house. I can't yell.
Yeah, that's true. But I can turn myself down and then turn the overall audio up.
Or should we do like a husky ASMR type podcast?
I'll get the cat back up here. All right. Anyways, so I decided to only eat meals with my family from now on. Food just tastes better with my munchkin. I know we already talked about this, and there's probably not much more to talk about than just, hey, it's live. But I figured it's like in the founding operational agreement of Boards and Swords. Like it's in Philip's contract that I have to bring up that Munchkin 2nd Edition is now live on BackerKit.
Woo! Also.
Hmm? Uh-oh. Also, Rusty Beetle, I know some of the audio is based on the piece that is reducing the. Yes, get it closer to the camera. It's fading out. No, closer. That's further away. All right, that's fine. Okay, there you go. Philip finally got the big box for Munchkin.
It came in the mail.
Nice. Nice. It was funny because I was like, bring it closer. You just kept pulling it back.
Well, because like I put it closer, and then the background completely took over.
But yes, the piece that kills the background, that audio noise I was having, is also minimizing the audio because when I pulled that thing out, it was like screaming in my ears. But ongoing technical.
Well, yes, I got the Munchkin Biz box. Big box.
Biz box.
It's fine. It's here. It's the big box. Yes, it's great.
But Philip, why would you get the Munchkin Big Box when the 2nd edition is being funded right now?
Because for $20 extra, and actually this Kickstart at $60.
Nice.
Yeah, $60 total for Munchkin 2nd edition. They only had one option with all of its goals and the upgrade kit for the big box.
Nice. Now, what does the upgrade kit do? Just like the like exclusive cards you just get?
Yeah, some exclusive cards. I think some rule changes. Reading through the 2nd edition, reading through the thing on it on the actual backer kit, wherever it's on right now. There were. It puts in there. It's like, yeah, there were jokes that were funny 20 years ago. They're not funny now.
Yeah.
So, like, we replaced some stuff. We updated some stuff.
It's 25 years, not 20 years.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Munchkin came out in 2001.
It even says that right here.
Yeah. And it's funny because, like, a lot of people won't get it, but, like, so as the older gamers will, is that the Munchkin Big Box is supposed to look like the red box from D&D. Long-awaited sequel to one of the best board games for chaotic fun. Much like before, it's still about grabbing loot, battling monsters, and ruining friendship with a well-placed joke card. This time around, Steve Jackson Games decided to fix some of the biggest criticisms of the 1st edition, particularly the grindy endgame. Anyone who's played enough Munchkin knows the age-old adage. I've actually never heard this adage, but like I understand the concept of it, but it says 30 minutes of fun packed into 3 hours.
I'm like, who maybe some people at Steve Jackson
It's
Games
probably
said
some
that.
inside joke somewhere. 2nd edition promises to rework the game to be the fast-paced adventure it was always meant to be. It'll feature new artwork for the classic set, giving longtime fans motivation to pick up the set. And I've always loved the humor in Munchkin. It got old fast. So like I love the concept of the game. Just it got, like I said, that end game where it was like, oh, everyone's gonna pop all their cards on the guy to keep them from winning, and then the next person is just gonna win by default because everybody used all their cards. Like
100%.
So many dislike Munchkin for encouraging toxic play. I mean, that's just Munchkin. Like, literally, do you not? It's like that's it. Basically, people that don't understand, like, the reason it gets the name Munchkin is because of like that, like, little dastardy, like he. I'm that kind of like. That's the whole point of the game.
It's in the tagline.
Yeah,
Kill the monster, steal the treasure, stab your buddy.
yeah, yeah. Like, I blame level 7. Once someone hits level 7, the game starts crawling as everyone kills the leader.
Oh yeah.
For me, it's like, no, it's always 9 because everyone gets to 9 because whoever's at 9, you're stopping them, and then then it finally gets to some point where it's like, okay, we have to play all our cards or they're gonna win, and then the next person that goes where nobody's had time to draw cards, but they're at level 9, and they're like, I win because you guys all play your cards on the last guy. So
I kick down the door and it's a treasure. I'm gonna put this wandering monster from my hand. And, oh, look, a level 1 slime.
oh look, a
Hey, I
potted
win.
plant.
Yeah.
Yeah, the much like Uno, the entertainment value comes from how you can screw over everyone else at the table. Yeah, it's fun when you refuse to take it seriously, just as the creators intended. So, like, yes, I enjoy the spirit of the game. The actual gameplay, the first edition, and there was a time where I was like, I have to own everything Munchkin. So, like, I had a phase.
Some of those boxes are now with me.
Yeah, I was gonna say some of them. Hey, actually, I still have. There are a couple of versions of Munchkin that I still own. In fact, one of my favorite versions of Munchkin is because it changed up the gameplay so much. Munchkin Apocalypse, because I loved how there was a lose condition because you had the 7 seals, and if you popped all the seals, everybody lost. So if you were doing horribly, you could rush to that and that's how you could screw over everybody else, by like rushing that when everyone's trying to win. And it made the game more, I don't want to say more chaotic. That's not more strategic, less like,
There we go.
yeah. Like they're more meaningful choices in the game kind of thing than just, oh, I have to play this card because I don't really have a choice.
Right.
So, do they talk about I haven't pulled up the actual backer kit, what the actual things are. Oops, oh, there we go. Actually turn up the volume. There we go.
If you spell it correctly, Philip, that normally gets you to the...
There we go.
I put in Baker Kit.
Baker Kit Mysteries.
Am I? Yeah, here I am. Let's see. My Pledges and Surveys. Munchkin 2nd Edition. Hang on, have I gotten this thing yet?
It's also probably only half the volume because you're only getting half the channels because it's in mono, at least in mine. Well, it helps when I realized I thought it was maxed out, but it turns out it was input volume, not output volume. So it helps when you actually max out the volume.
Oh, and we're getting gold coins.
Nice.
Gold coin tokens. That's been one of the biggest comments running through the like backers section is like, hey, can one of the stretch goals be actual metal coins? That would be great.
This is why I just have a set of metal. Like I bought an extra set of Scythe metal coins because they're really good.
Yep.
And I'm just like, then now I can just use these for any game. Like, oh, wouldn't this be better with metal coins? Now we got metal coins.
The card backs have been updated. That's a big one. The treasure and door are now, it's more prominent of it's a big ash pile of treasure. It's a big old door with a monster opening out of it.
Well, I thought the door card was always self-explanatory.
It was because it was just a door.
Yeah. And then there's
I think
the not
now the
door
fronts
card.
of the cards. Yeah.
All right.
Player reference cards. I mean, that's when,
Yes.
coins.
Okay.
Yeah.
This
Bunch of cool stuff.
this
coming
next story is pretty funny. Only because there's a secondary story. I don't know if I put in the show note, or I put in our show notes. I don't know if I put it in the show notes for the thing. This company quit installing lottery ticket dispensers because they kept drawing mobs and stores wanted them removed. The company got tired of de-vending itself. So I've actually seen some of these like in mall, and we went to the mall to like buy some furniture. Like there was an IKEA that we went to, and we went to the mall next to it. And like, yeah, they had one of these boxes. You can buy airport cards and airport vending machines now. But they're like, they cost more than the flights because they're not like, you're not just like buying the Pokemon packs, like the like booster packs and such. Like most of these vending machines are like, give us $100 and we'll give you a graded random Pokemon card. Like it's everybody going in for these like slabs. You're sitting around the airport, twiddling your thumbs and waiting for your flight, dressed in vacation appropriate attire. The time seems to crawl when you spot a bright light in the corner of your eye. A vending machine, but instead of being filled with delicious snacks, it's packed with hard-to-find Pokemon cards. This isn't a dream, it's reality, baby. Let's see. How many Pokemon TCG expansions are having their prices inflated right now in the third-party market? Vending machine airports filled with super expensive cards. Sounds particularly silly. They can be bought through them, but unless you've had a Final Destination style vision, and you want one last bit of joy before the plane crash, it'd be hard to justify the expense. Yeah. Tops the fan stand vending machines scattered across the U.S. I give it 2 months before one of those vending machines rolls out on a pallet jack. Wow. Yeah. So looks like. Oh, so hold on. This one's different, actually. This one does have the actual. This isn't what I've seen.
It's got booster boxes on like the bottom and top shelf.
Oh no, those aren't booster boxes. Those are those at the top. I guess there could be booster box, but there's also the ETBs, the something trainer box, elite trainer box, which are the ones that are the fat packs. It's the Pokemon version of fat packs.
Gotcha.
Where I remember when they used to be $30-$40, but I think they cost like $60 now, MSRP. And like on here, they're talking about like those things are going for like $180 for an ETB. Like what? Like, whereas, like a booster box is somewhere around like the 110. Like, for instance, they say your Japanese version of Prismatic Evolutions has a market price of around $110 for a booster box. The vending machine, $230. I mean, however, it is in the airport. Like,
it is in the airport.
Everything costs double in the airport.
So much. Because
you got to imagine, like, this isn't for your, like, collector going to like get deals. This is what this is for is the family that's on vacation and their kids will not shut up. And so when they see that Pokemon,
shut up, Beetle.
we need to talk about that later on, don't we?
We do.
But like, yeah, this is for like the family that's on vacation and the kid won't shut up. And it's like, look, just go buy him. Go buy him a box. He'll, it'll give him time to open it. He'll have time to like something to like do on the plane where it's like, if you stay quiet for the rest of until we board the plane, Daddy will go buy you a elite trainer box for $200.
Uh-huh.
And then, and then you can open it in the plane.
I do want to say, these vending machines are getting super sophisticated. Because then you look at the next picture.
Oh,
that's a full-on touchscreen, man.
Oh yeah.
That's a full-on touchscreen catalog of what's in there.
Oh yeah,
sure, you can sit there and look at it. But you don't have to push, like E8 anymore.
Yeah.
To get your stuff, man.
Is it wrong that one of the big reasons I want to go to Japan is I'm just overly fascinated by vending machines?
Oh, you can have like Michelin star quality meals.
Yeah.
out of the vending machines, man.
Yeah, Rusty Beetle literally was saying that like as you were saying it.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It's they are all. I don't
Like it is so
because
stupid.
like they do a better job of like recycling over there, but it's because of how cramped everything. It's single use, man. Everything is. Everything is single use, disposable.
But I remember like growing up, and you had like the different vending machines for like the soda bottles, and then I went to college, and it was the first time I saw the ones where like the tray would come up and the drink would dispense out, and it would slide down the thing and then dump into the little part for you to get. I thought that was the coolest thing ever.
Well, yeah, because then it didn't like shake it up.
Correct. But the reason I got confused about the PSA graded cards is because of our second story based on this. Is that there's one of these vending machines is in the Pentagon.
I don't have that link. Where's that link?
In our show notes, it's to the side of that link.
Okay.
It's not underneath it. It's over to the right because it's technically the same story, kind of, but in a different way. But yeah,
gotcha. I see it.
It broke on Reddit. A user photographed the vending machine, shared a screenshot of a Threads post. It's announced that Lucky Box has officially arrived at the Pentagon. I think they took out the. Oh wait, no. What was it? Let's see if I can actually find the.
Penta got to catch them all.
Yeah, like this is it. Like we're not talking like. This is at like Pentagon City or it's like outside the Pentagon. Like, no, this is literally
this is like in the break room,
like
in one of the cafeterias.
Yeah, like literally on their like Threads or whatever page. And it's like, Lucky Box. I love this first comment. So sealed mystery packages are being delivered to the Pentagon regularly.
Oh.
But this is what I was thinking of originally when this is what I saw. I actually saw exactly one of these. It was called Lucky Box there too, where it's like, it's like you can give us $100 to $200 and we will give you like we promise at least this quality of card. You might get more, you might get less. But yeah, let's see. When I was younger, getting lucky meant something completely different. I mean...
You're not that old, Beetle.
I mean, I'm pretty sure if you got lucky and got like a couple $1,000 Pokemon card, you could get lucky in the other sense too.
What the hell? Oh, sorry. I was just looking at somebody's username.
It got installed on Christmas Eve. That's weird.
It got installed.
Look, Lucky Box installed their Pentagon-based Pokemon card provider on Christmas Eve. How would you like to be that guy?
Yeah.
Now, granted, no one was there that day because I think that was a federal holiday. But like, granted, it would have been easier to get in there.
Yeah.
Like less all the people.
Oh yeah. But still.
Yeah, and so it's basically, and like they say in here, it's basically a gachapon dispenser. You can't select the cards from it. Cards distributed randomly from a predetermined pool. The price to take a spin is currently unknown as the prize pool along Pokemon cards. It's allegedly also possible to get graded football cards and sports jerseys from the machine. If it's like the other the Lucky Box things, like I said, it was like 100 to 200 plus just to get like the minimum like rarity or whatever they're calling for that. I'd rather have a Japanese soup vending machine. Me too. And I'm not even a huge soup person. All right. One last story.
I want that in my kitchen.
One last story. There's so much news since we've been so off on things. Like I didn't even look at anything over the past week as far as news wise. But you know what? Philip? If you want to know all the news that you've ever wanted to know, you can go to our Discord, boardsandswords.com/Discord. There is now a channel, #tabletop news. The feeds I use to get the news automatically post to that channel, and it's a lot. Because I haven't, I highly recommend turning off notifications for that channel because it is a lot. But that way you could see all the news I have up there. The idea being of which you can't post, but like you can comment. So like you can't post news stories in there. It's restricted, but you can like reply and start comment thread kind of things and do the emotes. Do the little emotes so that I can know kind of
this is what we care about.
This is what we care about, yeah. But anyways, why do we call stamps postage instead of females? All right. So yeah, there was another Games Workshop preview show because we got all the 500 World stuff came out, so they had to like show us what was next. And the internet exploded because they finally, like 2 years later, they finally came out with the female custodes. So, you remember when they got rid of the old world and people were like burning their minis? Well, we've got like that level of toxicity back again.
Which is, they already have your money.
Yeah, I know, right? No, 11th edition will be announced at Adepticon. We don't have any like game related products to drop, so we need to drop like all the new fancy models so that you buy this so that we don't go 6 months without any sales. But there's so much cool shit. Like, so this time you have some so first off we have Red Corsairs, which are these are like they're listed as Chaos Space Marines, but they are considered Chaos unaligned. They are not like aligned with a specific deity, and they're not they're not one of the they're Red Corsairs. But the other big important thing is they're not a legion. Like they weren't like most of the other Space Marines are legions that turned from the Great Crusade and then fell to Chaos, and then kind of those that didn't do that ended up forming the Black Legion, which is kind of like the not rejects, but it was basically like the Sons of Horus renamed because Horus is dead and allied under a new leader. But the Red Corsairs are like their own bad. They're basically what I've heard described. They're like Chaos Pirates as Space Marines. Nice. So they even like nicknamed Pirates from the Maelstrom. But yeah, like these models look dope. Here's one that's a little bit bigger. Like, look at that. That's some cool shit there. Then you got Eldari. I mean, this seems kind of lame when you compare it to those Protoss minis that we were just showing off like a few stories back.
Yeah.
You see this, you're just like, eh.
Oh, that's an Eldari?
Yeah, that's an Eldari.
Oh, there's the ears. Okay, took me a second. I was like, that just looks like a thin Space Marine.
All right, Philip, here you go. Here's your female custode.
Hell yeah.
That you can't even tell is a female custode.
Right? I mean, it's
because and
then put on the helmet with the voice modulator. It's already.
All it is like it's not like they didn't give your custodes titties.
Okay,
they just gave
bat nipples on the armor. They
just gave you some heads, basically. I mean, all right. This sums up here. So these models look amazing with everything showing up as hard plastic. So the other half of it is custodes aren't. They're not for 40K. They're for actually heresy, which I mean, you can then use them in 40K most of the time. But so they're going to the hard plastic. But this person sums it up here. I love the tank going plastic, all the weirdness showing up in the models, and so many female heads. I've been thinking about a muscle mommy's army, and this is where it'll start if I get tired of Emperor's Children pretty crazy. I'm like, that's what everybody's like, shut up. We could be getting muscle mommies in 40K, and you're taking this away from us? No, they took the nips away from the Blood Marines. Nipples for the nipple what? I was watching a stream. It was because I saw a TikTok that was about a VTuber, and she was talking about Gundam stuff, and I was like, that's cool. I'm gonna go check out her Twitch page. And like literally the second video, she's talking about 40K, and so I was like, I'm gonna watch it. And she's reacting. So there's a guy that does 40K videos, especially talking about like all sorts of 40K stuff, called Bricky. And he did a video that was like recently kind of like recapping all the different factions of 40K and kind of putting them all in like a chronological timeline of like, this is how we got to 40K and this is where all the different factions kind of came in at in this huge timeline. And so she's reacting to this, and it's funny because he gets past the like way before Earth was even born kind of prehistory stuff, like when the Necrons first came about before they went to sleep. And then he gets to like, and then you get to like Earth, and there's all the stuff that like we're doing right now is, you know, like canon in 40K. And he even goes like, you Twitch commenter that's commenting on this video, and the VTuber's like, did I just get doxxed? But like hearing her find out about like the blood for the blood god and skulls for the skull throne, like because he references that, and she's like, oh, that's where that came from. I thought it was funny. So, but yeah. Oh man. So yeah, there's lots more picks in there.
Also, wait, go back up to that one.
Which one? This one?
That's very clearly Battlestar Galactica inspired.
Did you see the name?
Yeah, it's the Viper. I was like, that's that. Somebody's a BSG fan.
Philip, are we gonna get you to start an Eldari army now?
Shut up. I'm waiting for Gundam Assemble to come out.
I don't have hopes for that.
Where's the news on that?
That's part of my point, is the fact we haven't heard news on that. Now, granted, at this point, any news, they're going to wait for Adepticon.
Okay.
But the fact that we've not seen a whole lot, and I think that they're too focused on the card game right now. And I think they should like wait a year for the Assemble stuff. Because also the last rumors I heard is they weren't fully set on the game rules. Like they couldn't figure out if they wanted to go hex or no hex, or will this Starbuck be male or female? Both customizable heads.
There we go.
I like that gun. I like the gun on the back.
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, having them up top there.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder, So like looking at the model more, it's like, does that part?
What?
Does that top part? Can that top part like detach?
Yes, it can, but you'll want to glue it. It won't stay on there. It's basically, there's the base, there's the flight stand, and then there's usually a divot it fits into.
Well, no. So like the whole, but then like the secondary cockpit up
you're
top
talking about
with the gun
cockpit.
on it. Yeah, I was like in
no,
lore,
in
the
lore
proper
maybe.
word.
Yeah.
Or
maybe it like, or maybe it like comes out and pivots
to let him down. Okay, yeah, that. Could
or
be
no, I'm thinking like separate pivots so that the guy in the back, it's like a tank turret is what I was thinking. Maybe it comes up in tank turrets, like a Scorpion. I'm kind of thinking like Scorpion tank-ish here.
There you go. I'm with you. Yeah, I'm just wondering. So the female custodes. All right, it's got the Horus Heresy under. But and I'm looking it up. The Tithes episode 2, where the Custodes is telling the Salamanders to leave the planet and burn it.
Yeah,
is that Horus Heresy or is that
40K? I don't remember. I think that is 40K. The Custodes are in 40K also.
Gotcha.
It's one thing that you hear people talk about is Custodes really don't make sense in 40K, like as a playable faction, because they're really like just around the Emperor and that's about it. Whereas in the Heresy, they were out and about, like they were kind of along because the Emperor was out and about, and even when he wasn't, like there were custodes were out fighting, in the webway, against demons, and also like fighting traitor factions and whatnot. Like there were mass amounts of armies of custodes out doing stuff, whereas in the 41st millennium they're not, or the 40th millennium they're not. They're like on Earth protecting the Emperor until recently, when Gilliman is out and about and there's like some custodes doing stuff where it's like you might see like 5 of them going to do a mission or something. Like it's not like a 2,000 point army,
Custodes, dreadnoughts, and knights and titans, and
oh my. So I have to shout out Sean from the store, backed our Patreon.
Nice.
Yeah. And his favorite game is Arkham Horror. So in true tradition, we have to do here's 10 horrible jokes about Arkham Horror.
Amazingly horrible.
Amazingly horrible. You have to pay to get this good of horrible. Literally. I've said this first joke before, but it's too good not to use. What do you call it when a pig dies on Noah's boat in Arkham Horror? I know that joke was horrible, but bear with me. It's pretty hard for me to resist the Call of Cthulhu games, as anyone who's listened for this podcast for a while knows.
Oh.
You might say it's my cup of Santa tea. They didn't say which version of the game, but I wouldn't doubt for a second edition that the 2005 version is what they mean. If you haven't played any versions of the game, this is your elder sign to correct that. One day I should take a trip to the area of Massachusetts that Arkham's supposed to be in. You might say it's a fantasy flight of mine. It's pointless to try and develop a strategy for this game, as it's pretty much a box of Chaosium. If it wasn't before, Arkham Horror is a game that I really yig. Are there, and then lastly, are there any references that I miskatonicked? Oh, okay. And then, yes, I have to, okay, hold on. I have to pull up this because I found, and then I remembered there was like, I had a note from like one of the other things that I needed to pull up, and here it is, nope, that's the wrong, stupid copy paste things again. Right click. But, I saw something when I was, cause like I'll go when I just behind the scenes a little bit. When I make these puns, I will usually go on the Board Game Geek page just to like look at like pictures and stuff to kind of help, find out reference or just give me inspiration. And I found this on the BGG page, and it's just too great not to share. But it is Arkham Horror, but they've got like Powerpuff Girl standees for the different heroes. And I thought that was great.
Oh, that's great.
So just think, you too could have terrible jokes like these read if you go to patreon.com/boardsandswords or boardsandswords.com/Patreon. It both works. Also in this episode, where for those watching here, you'll have to find it on YouTube later. But we do have an interview with Uli from Spraygunner. It was a great interview. However, we're on like pine cones and like 2 cups and a string here right now. So I am not going to tax this computer with trying to play a video. Besides, we ended up getting started late, so that's nice. Like it's a nice like 40-minute interview just talking about airbrushing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a whole bunch of cool stuff of like what Spraygunner even is. I learned about a couple of new products that I'm going to have to put on my wish list for stuff. And then just kind of like like I've heard of anyone that's kind of like, I've heard of airbrushing, where do I get started? Or I bought this like cheap airbrush to get started and now I'm looking for the next thing. What do I do? Kind of thing. So there's a lot of helpful information there and places to point to. Really great resource there. So, hey everybody, I'm here with Uli from Spraygunner. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty well. How about yourself?
I'm trying to talk to someone with a cat that's like right here wanting attention. So, average cat day.
Yep, I saw the tail go past the screen. I'm like, and there
It's
it
not
is.
gonna. Yep, it's not gonna be the last
There it is.
time. So, for those that aren't familiar with what is Spraygunner? For those that may have never been to a miniatures convention before.
Very fair. Spraygunner is an online store, and we have our warehouse. And we have recently, within the last few years, opened our doors that people can walk in and, be like a regular retail store. However, we have also pushed beyond just, buy online and stop on by. And we have a dedicated painting section and a dedicated play area with 10 high quality tables. That's like 6x4, a little longer than that too. Tables tall enough to be like up to your belly or your chest, depending if you're short or tall. And couple of the raining there, a couple of mats. Enough for people to just, hey, I want to play some game. Stop on by.
Nice.
Play Trench Crusade. We actually have a nice growing Trench Crusade community. And some tables with, like I mentioned at the beginning, here's paint that we had to test. Here's paints that we had to open. Just readily available for whoever wants to use them, because painting a mini doesn't take that much paint. Painting a car model kit also doesn't take that much paint.
Right.
Like if you think 2 ounces is too little, it can go a long way through an airbrush, which is something I'll get on later. How it's a steep starting cost, but it can save you so much more money down the road.
Right. Yeah, it's one of those upfront things. But
exactly.
I was gonna ask, having all those people in the store now must be pretty handy for it's like, hey, we just got these new paints in. Let's get like a variety of opinions and not just like the 3 or 4 of us that end up using it, but like here's a bunch of other people and what they've thought of it that may not know anything about paint.
It's actually really nice to have that open pool of knowledge. We have locals that I'm just like, listen, I don't know your skill level, but here is this box of Villainy Inks Phase 2 paints and effects. We started carrying them not too long ago as well. I'm like, try this out. Tell me what you think. You play with enamels? Great. I have not played with enamels. You know more than I do. Show me how it's actually done.
Right.
And really good results. People can give us like from, hey, I'm new to this thing, I don't know, to I've actually been painting for competitions for 17 years, but I dropped out because I just wanted to be with my family. I'm like, okay, well, that's freaking insane. Cool.
So, so do you, I mean, with the name, you would think it's mostly like airbrush accessories and equipment and such, but is it just all sorts of mini hobby related paints and such?
The thing about that is that Spraygunner started selling spray guns. So actual card ones, the big handheld ones, Need for Speed sort of thing. Fast and Furious, those guys. However, it moved towards airbrushing. Whereas, hey, this is more towards the detail. This is the one you hold like a little T-Rex on your hand, like pull your finger back and forth. Those guys. Your cat's adorable, by the way. And moving into that, it kind of pushed us to go more towards the hobbyist, because once you have a spray gun, you might not need to change too much on that. With the detail airbrushes, it became more of like, hey, this is paint specialized to go through smaller holes, to be smaller pigment, to work better through an airbrush. Hey, this is paint that's being made with more transparency, with more opacity. Hey, these are tools that are better for what you're working on. That way you can go from in a box, assembled, primed, and then painted.
Right.
So working with one of the biggest brands that carries a lot of that stuff, Ammo by Mig, they have a lot of tools. They have a lot of like primers and the paints as well. And like glue and even things that I didn't know existed. Like there's a chemical that rusts aluminum pieces.
Wow.
To give you actual rust effect. I'm like, that is so niche. Like, who comes up with this? Meg. Oh, okay. Of course he does. Of course he does. That man's literally like, why do you spend so much time on this paint line? I'll just tell you real quick. The atom paints.
Oh yeah.
He wanted an acrylic paint to work like a lacquer because he wanted to paint his tanks faster.
Uh-huh.
And he was tired of the light coats and problems in the airbrush. So he just worked with some people and even himself because he develops some stuff. He worked and developed it so that it self level like a lacquer. It is airbrush ready, and it doesn't take as long to clog your brush and not dry tip. That's a normal thing. I'll explain that later too. That happens on the airbrush. And I'm just like, had him for a quick like 20 minutes when he was here a couple months ago, and I'm like, but like that's a lot of work. He's like, yeah, but I can paint faster.
Yeah.
Like, you know, yeah, that's fair. Yeah, you know what? You're absolutely right. I cannot argue with you on that. You're right.
I mean, you could say the same thing about like someone who's never used an airbrush to like looking at someone like that's a lot of work, and then you're like, yeah, but I can paint so much faster now.
Yeah. One thing I love to do is when people tell me about like priming their models, I'm like, as weird as it sounds, how many times do you have to use the router clan up the skirt?
Yeah.
Because it sounds weird, but it's like, yeah, because you prime the model and you cover all the sides and you cover at the top, but then all the parts below from it is grayed out. There's pieces that are blocked out by an arm, a cloth, anything, a weapon, and your router cam will not get to it. And when you finally get to an angle that you can, you have like 3 layers of paint everywhere else, and then it's just like blobby. With the airbrush, you can very quickly just coming through that little spot, just there you go. And it overall makes life a lot easier once you're priming and doing pre-painting work. I'll explain that stuff too.
Yeah. Plus, it's definitely living on the East Coast. I don't know about the rest of the country, but living on the East Coast where humidity is such a big deal, you quickly come to find out where the airbrush can be a big help because it's like, oh, I want to paint, but I can't prime my models because it's too humid outside.
Yep. And that's one good thing about acrylics, that with acrylics, if you're in a well-ventilated room and you don't stay there for 5 hours at a time, you are able to literally just grab it, prime it, and just get painting.
Yeah.
And priming doesn't take that long either.
Now, and speaking of which, not only that, because you actually not only do you sell retail other airbrushes, but you have your own brand. Are they all the No Name brand, or is there other multiple brands?
The No Name, it's like all the brand that covers a lot of things, whether it is our own airbrushes or our airbrush supplies. Like we have actually bought one right just now. We have a handy dandy little brush made for cleaning inside of the cup for gravity feeds, which it works like a makeup brush, but it's a little stiffer and looser. That way it can actually get in there below the needle as well. Because if you ever had to deal with anything on liquid, whether it is protein powder, chocolate milk, you always have a little bit of sediment at the bottom.
Right.
In the airbrush, whenever you're going through the paints and you're cleaning it, it doesn't matter how much you spray, there's going to be a little bit of paint just sitting towards the bottom. And this literally I can just get in to remove it.
I was going to say, it just looks like a dry brush from over here.
Exactly, but it's like softer than that. But
okay.
Not as soft as a makeup brush. Or like this guy's like nozzle cleaning tips. It's literally just rolled up paper tips that go inside of the nozzle. So once you're giving like a deeper clean for your airbrush, oh, it's so nice.
I bet.
It's so nice.
Hold on, I'm just gonna pull up the website and start a shopping cart real quick.
I wouldn't blame you. But yeah, the No Name brand focuses on that. We do have our own alternatives for like spray guns and airbrushes and tools, and just a good variety there.
Yeah, and not only so there's that, then there's the other half that I got introduced to at Nova this year because I'd seen your booths and I knew you had a bunch of stuff. I had not shopped at the store yet, but you guys offered a whole bunch of classes at Nova, and apparently, like literally, I was in the intro to airbrushing because I was like, you know what? I've been airbrushing for like 3 or 4 years, but like it's all been self-taught, so it's like maybe there's bad habits I picked up that like or better ways that I just never really thought about. So I took just like the basic airbrush class, and y'all were like streaming it to your channel like at the same time. So like you can still like anybody watching this video can just go on their channel and watch that same class that I was in. And so just it just made me realize like how much there's the store part, and then there's like all the content as well.
Yep. Yeah. We've been making more and more content lately for here's how you can maintenance an airbrush. You know, different brands, different airbrushes and such. Here is how you can work with this effect paints because, man, I'm gonna be honest with you. The moment that you delve into this world, it's like, oh yeah, you airbrush the paints, right? It's like, yes, and
Right.
there's paints that give you effects as you use them. There's paints that look like straight up blood. We have one called Bloody Mary. It looks like blood. There's paints that rust and verdigris and actual chemicals that react with air. That's Goblin's Hut. There's so much of that.
Yeah.
And you don't know it until you get into that world of miniatures, into the world of like special effects as well. All of this is connected. It's not just, oh, I'm just using these paints for painting my Trench Crusade. It's like, cool. The same rust effect that I was using on a couple of mines, the company Goblin's Hut had actually had their rust, verdigris, and such, even like tanning the clothes rattle can spray. So I was like, that's just a color.
Oh yeah, the
rattle can.
I forgot what their sprays are called, but yeah, I know what you're talking about. The I've used their sprays as well.
Yes, those. I was like, that's just for cosplay and for stuff like that, right? It's like, yeah, they actually use it on Game of Thrones. I'm like, oh wait, what? Yeah, they use the rust here. I'm like, wait, what?
Aging spray. That's what it's called. The aging spray.
Thank you. I was like, it's old. It's not olding spray. That's not it. It's something like that.
Yeah.
I didn't want to say it because it sounds dumb, but yeah, not olding spray, aging spray. Yeah, stuff like that, and you realize like all of this is very easily interconnected. It's easier to market something towards a very specific hobbyist than to try to help people branch out and look into the special effects industry and such. But a lot of the stuff on the special effects industry has to use things that are used with an airbrush or paints that can also be used for the hobby. So when I say Spraygunner is like kind of all over the place, but not in a bad way, it's because all over the place there's things that can use an airbrush, that can use this tool, can use these paints.
Yeah, I'm always a big fan for like that outside the hobby perspective on new tips and techniques, because it's like that's how you get the things like there was the stamping kit for that Goblin Hobbies, not different from Goblin's Hut, but Goblin Hut, where they had the stamping kit that's based on like cosmetics stuff that they've been doing forever. And you know, like I love that kind of crossover that you get.
Yeah, I honestly I love seeing that more and more. And when you realize knowing people from all over the place can take you so much further as a builder, as a hobbyist, as an artist, it's really like mind opening, because then it's not just I'm great at painting tanks. Well, the same thing you're doing there, you could put it on a car.
Yeah.
You change the colors. I could do the same thing for a Gundam. I actually have a Gundam that it's a little wild, but I kit bashed it. I'm very happy with it. I'm using the ionic paints, which are not airbrush ready. You gotta think them a little bit. They're better for figures. So it's not even for mecha and model kits, but I'm using that and nail water slide decals.
Yeah.
Because they're small enough to kind of fit the scale. And I showed up at home and my wife just looked at it. She just looked at me. She's like, I don't know what you're doing. But good luck, sweetie. And just left me, and I'm like, okay, yeah, fair. just fair.
All right, so let's so we've talked up now the hobby and getting into the airbrush, but like say you've got somebody like, okay, I want to start airbrushing, but like there's so many options out there, and maybe I don't even know if I'm gonna continue this, so I don't want to spend like $500 on a whole bunch of stuff to find out like I hate this. Like,
Mhm.
what kinds of things should somebody look out for?
The main thing that I want to warn people when it comes to starting the hobby is learn about the tool itself, not how do I airbrush and such. Learn the maintenance, learn the pros and the cons of using it, because I'm not joking when I say this. 9 out of 10 times that we have an airbrush returned to us, and somebody drops off the airbrush, because we do airbrush repairs here as well, and cleaning and such, and it becomes like, well, I just broken, it's not working, blah blah blah. I go through it, I'm like, it's good. What was it? It was dirty. Like, I wish I was joking. Oh, the paint is too thick, it's gonna clog. Oh, the paint is too thin, it's gonna give you problems. And it feels like there's a lot of stuff to get into it, but nowadays, thankfully, we have, better paints and better technology that make it easier. But whoever is starting, I cannot stress this enough. Research what you're using. Research the pros and cons. Research, can you use alcohol on this paint to clean your airbrush? Yes or no? Don't just take the first answer on the Google AI thing.
Yeah.
Actually research it and ask people who are in the hobby as well. Because again, this paint works well. Great. That paint works great. Awesome. That paint decides to clog up your airbrush instantly the moment it even smells alcohol. It becomes rubber. This one just explodes on you, like it just deteriorates and there's nothing left of it. But
Yeah,
they're both acrylics.
Yeah, that's honestly why, like, I've started using the Pro Acryl primer, and it has changed my life.
Oh yeah.
Just because my problem always with priming was getting that consistency right of, like, it's either too thin and like it goes on, like I'm having to do 3 or 4 coats just to get anything on there, or I didn't thin it enough and it's clogging the airbrush and like I'm having to clean it like every 5 minutes or so. But like you look at the bottle of the Pro Acryl and it's like you don't have, and it's like you don't have to dilute this at all. And I was like, okay, well, let me try it. And so like I tried it at Nova with their airbrushes, because like then I don't have to worry about my airbrush.
Oh, I see how it is.
Yeah.
Let us clean up the nice, huh? I'm kidding. We do that. We do that. You good?
But and then I was like, oh no, this is no joke. Like this is good. And then also I will say that is one of those things that's like the difference in a cheap airbrush and like a slightly more expensive airbrush can be that stress. As someone that's owned both, to where it might be like it might be like it's more of like, if you're okay with like the extra pain of cleaning and like want to cheapen out for like your first airbrush, like I get it. But I will say that, like, just for reference, like I bought my first airbrush was the Iwata Revolution CR, which is not a cheap airbrush, but it's definitely not the most expensive. I think it's like $100 airbrush, and
it's around there, yeah.
I mean, it's fine. Like it's a solid airbrush, but the problem is it's such a pain to clean, and like especially because to disassemble it and getting the nozzle out. To unscrew it and getting the nozzle out so you can clean it, because if you don't, it's going to clog right down there at the tip. And then my problem is I broke so many of those nozzles because like I would try and like tighten them back on and I'd just over tighten it and it would just shear. Like I got to the point I would just keep a nozzle in my painting bag as like standby, and when I broke it, I would just order a new one to have it waiting on standby. Versus after I took that Spraygunner class and like learned a couple of things about cleaning that I was definitely doing wrong, that helps as well. And then like I went to like one of the guys and I'm like, this is what I have. What would you recommend is like I'm looking to spend a little bit more on the airbrush, and he got me the Harder and Steinbeck Evolution. Oh my god. That brush is so amazing, nice. And like it's only so like I think the single nozzle I want to say was like $185. So
about that, yeah.
I mean, like in the realm of things, it's like double the price of what I did pay, but I have had maybe like a fraction of the stress in just the 6 months that I've been using it. And like the biggest thing is
Yep.
it's like the nozzle like slides out.
Yep.
Like that one thing changes so much where it's like you undo the cap and then the nozzle pops out instead of it being screwed onto the other end. And just
Yep.
like it makes it so much easier to clean. So I would
That's
I
one
would
thing I
definitely
gotta
say
do
like
better
somebody
for hardened steam back there.
like videos where you can see somebody dissecting or disassembling the airbrush and putting it back together might be also a big help.
Oh yeah, we got a couple of those on our YouTube, and within the last few months, our airbrush expert Dan, he's been taking them apart, recording, just showing people. But we're also between a make it long-term content and then cut it off for shorts and views,
Yeah.
algorithm and all that jazz.
Yeah.
But yeah, the hardened steam brushes are really, really good because their nozzle is like a big piece. It's not this tiny little tiny thing.
Yeah.
For Iwata, their HPCS is like the most popular one because the itty bitty little thing is attached to a bigger piece. So it's like an in between,
Yeah.
and you don't have to like unscrew it. You can just clean it, the whole thing, because you don't need to take it apart. It's all just one big piece.
That's
However,
the Eclipse, right? The HPCS.
Yep, the HPCS. However, that being said, the hardened steam bag evolution does have features that the CS does not, such as you can actually adjust how much paint comes from the bag. And as someone who's been focusing on the miniature, trying to get some shading right, and then sneezes and it just splatters all over it, and then you just see the paint go, it was so splat. Like, yep, that's sweet, awesome. Yeah, I'm just gonna throw this in the bath, just let it sink on alcohol or on whatever. I have purple power is the one I use. Just degreaser, strip it all. Let's just do it again. And that's kind of what I had to do at that case because the airbrush is good because it sprays such a fine mist of the paint
Yeah.
that you can just go over it and you're going to not even lose any detail. I lost detail because it was a splatter fest of paint. So that's why I had to go and strip it. Just want to clarify that as well.
Right.
As for people who are starting with the airbrush, like you're saying, yes, the difference between a cheapo, Chinesium, whatever, versus one that's actually cared for is like humongous. The best thing that I've been recommending people for years now, and anybody who's like, I want to get started and maybe go further with it, is the GSI Krios has the PS289 and the PS270. The 289 is a 0.3 millimeter needle nozzle. That one is like my go-to. It's been my workhorse. Like I have been using and abusing it. We have one here at work. It's been like 2 years, and I'm still like, yeah, it's still kicking. It's amazing. What do you do? It feels so smooth. It must be new. I'm like, no, I just clean it.
Yeah.
I know how to clean it. I just clean it properly, And I've run primer, I've run fluorescence, I've run base colors, transparency, even candy colors and metallics, and just clean it well, and it's pretty smooth because it is the same quality as an Iwata, but for almost half the cost. The
Nice.
airbrush by itself is like $90 or so without the box, maybe less, depends on when we have deals, and about 100 with the box. The box is just, hey, here is an adapter and a hose for an air can, because in Japan they don't want to have compressors, they want to be considerate and keep quiet, so they use air cans.
Right.
Very low pressure, very thin paint, very soft effects. It can go really well, but that's what the box is for. So if you're traveling, it's perfect. You just pay like 5, 10 more bucks and you get that and the little wrench that you were talking about for fixing the nozzles, right?
Yeah.
Which tends to be like a separate tool you have to get. It comes in there too.
Gotcha.
And that one, it has the paint regulator at the back, so you don't pull the trigger too far back. And it has a pressure regulator at the front, so that if you're spraying and you go, okay, it's a little strong, maybe the paint is a little thinner than I meant it to be, you don't have to let me push down and go down and crank it down and then test it and then see and let me go again. You just like adjust and you can literally do it on your hand. As you're like, titty, done, titty, okay, all right. Yeah, that seems about right. And just continue painting. It has, we're actually sold out of it last I checked.
Oh wow.
Because yeah, not only has it been really popular, it's like Iwata level quality. But you're not paying 180, 100, like almost $200 for an airbrush that has features that a higher end airbrush would have. And for those that get intimidated for the features, just don't use them. don't touch it.
Yeah.
Simple as, like, just don't leave it all open, and you can use it just like an HPCS, which doesn't have any of those features. Really good nozzle, mind you, but it doesn't have those features. You will have to buy like a separate piece to get the regulator for the back, and you can just go with that one. As for compressors, I tell people don't go somewhere like my uncle have a compressor and he let me borrow it. What was he using it for? Tires. Don't do that. Do not do that. I've actually had somebody tell me like I was using them. I said, what were you using? He's like air pressure tanks. I'm like, huh? Yeah, I work at a car shop and like we get them on the side, so I figured I could use it too. I'm like, oh my God. The best way I can explain that is imagine you have a 6-inch tube, right? And then a 4-inch tube. I'm talking about diameter wise.
Yeah.
The 6-inch, you could have water flowing through both of those tubes and the same pressure, right?
Yeah.
But the volume of water on the 6-inch will be far greater than the one on 4 inches. Even though it doesn't seem like that much of a difference, the volume filling those tubes is greater. This is the same thing with an airbrush. There's airbrushes whose inside are bigger, like the HPCS. It requires more air to pump out, but that allows people who are starting out to use thicker paint through a good size needle to 0.3. I'm not going to call it small because it's a really good overall, and it's like what all airbrushes tend to be close to.
Yeah.
Without having to worry too much on that side. Whereas for the other ones, like you already know, you got to thin it down. You got to make it, okay, now it's a little too thin, make it a little thicker, and play with that. It's a lot more forgiving. But the main thing that you're going to realize once you start with a cheap airbrush versus a quality airbrush is the quality and the control. Because if that nozzle is not perfectly aligned with the exit circle for the air, and that is not perfectly aligned with the needle, you're going to be pulling back to release some paint and you're just going to go to the left. Or you're going to be spraying and you're just going to be like, it's like, that side is a lot more wet than the other side is. It's like, yeah, because it's not actually aligned. If you pull back and you see the little nut thing on the back, like move up and down or the needle, like go up and down as you're pulling it back and forth, it is not being held in place. The seal is not good, and you're not going to get the best results.
Even, and I mean, that'll even be with the, like, even with the Harder and Steinbeck, there was a couple of times where I cleaned it, put it back together, and then like go to put paint in it, and like the paint just shoots right out of the brush, like no stopping at all. And like, I'm like, what did I do? And I had to like take it completely apart again. Like, oh, this one piece was just not aligned right, or, you know, just was, you know, not on right, and it just screws everything up. So it's definitely not something you can like rush.
No. And one thing that I do warn people, and I'm like, listen, I know it sounds silly, but like, get this through your head. Listen to this very important and silly advice. You're working with fractions of a millimeter. Any little bit that is off will affect it.
Right.
Whether it is, the needle was just a smidge pulled back from the front. You're going to have a situation where it just sprays even if you're not pulling back. If it's a little too forward, it's going to take a sec for it to pull back. And then when you move it forward, also never just let go of the trigger. Always move your finger forward. If you let go of the trigger, you're basically hitting a pile driver towards your nozzle where it just goes in and hits it and hits it and hits it. It's a little silly to mention, but it's one of those pros and cons that they don't usually talk about unless you have to dismantle them and you recognize it, and it's happened to you too, because it's happened to me. But yeah, you're working with fractions of a millimeter. From 0.3 to 0.4, there's a big difference. From 0.3 millimeter needle sizes to 0.2, there's even bigger difference. The 0.2, you're doing like just very soft. You are doing the shading of a single peck or like a Space Marine, okay? That's what you're using the 0.2 for. Anything smaller than that, you're just like, let me do some like patterns and runes on the shoulder pauldron. Or let me create a very faint, soft glow effect, like electricity crackling through a sword. That's when you want to use the small stuff like that for. Or in the fine arts, eyebrows and eyelashes, you know?
Right. I had a thought where I was like, oh, it would be cool to one day have like the one of those small airbrushes for like details like that. And then you go and see that like, yeah, those like super fine airbrushes, they go up like astronomically in price. Where it's like, I don't think I need to spend $500 just to do a very tiny. And then you hear, then like I was hearing some of the people talk about, what was it, the Micron from Iwata, and they're like, that thing clogs all the time just because you're trying to force paint through a very, very tiny thing. And I'm like, nah, no thanks.
Yep. We had one of our local artists, Nestor Espinosa. He has a book with ammo all about cars. He's insane. Like, I show pictures of the models, and it's just like, oh, that's a nice reference. I'm like, no, that's actually the model. He finished it. Oh, shit. But he got a Hot Wheels, and he used a Micron, and we had people back and forth and back and forth. That's a nice wrap. That's a really good decal. Where you got that one done? And he's like, that was with an airbrush. And it's like, no way. It's like, yeah, he did the flames, and the skull was a very small stencil.
Yeah.
But all the flames and that like hazy, he did it with a Micron
Oof.
on the back trunk of a Hot Wheel car. I was like, dude, what the actual? That looks like what you would expect on an actual car.
Yeah.
And it takes like a while to get done. He got that done on top, itty bitty little tiny little thing. And I'm like, yeah, that's what you use a Micron for, folks. That's exactly what you should use a Micron for.
Yeah.
Don't worry about the fine arts. This is it. Paint Hot Wheels.
No, I want to see him I just want to see somebody photoshopping that into like somebody's like pictures of their cars, like they're leaning up against the hood, and it turns out it's just a Hot Wheel that's just been painted with these.
Honestly, that'd be really funny. I'm not telling that.
Like that's what if I was that skilled, that would be like I would just do an Instagram page where it's just I take like I don't know, like get free models and then just pose them up next to my Hot Wheels cars to make it look like it's they've pimped their ride.
That'd be really funny, not gonna lie. No, but after he finished that, he's like, I'm not doing that again. I'm like, but you did so good. He's like, yeah, but I'm not doing that again. I'm like, okay, fair. I heard you screaming in Spanish. I understand.
So considering like you've got all these different brushes and brands, is it ever tempting or is it ever difficult at all? Because like we said earlier, you also have your own brand of brushes. Do you ever feel like, well, we need to push our stuff more than other people's brushes? Is there ever that kind of conflict?
Thankfully not really, because the brushes that we provide tend to be towards the like more affordable side. Like, yes, we have an airbrush bundle for you to just buy 5 or 7 off and go to the beach and paint some t-shirts, This is not going to be the high quality one. This is not going to be like an amazing thing, but so that you don't have to worry about, let me switch out the colors, let me get a whole bunch of things done, let me get the cleaning done. You can just have cheap brushes for quick work.
Right.
Or if you're starting off and you're like, you know what, I don't get what the difference in the needle sizes is. I don't want to spend $100 on a brush and I don't know if I like it. You buy a cheap one that we have, or like a more affordable one, really. They're not bad. I've actually had mine for like 2 years and it still works. But they're like, hey, here's a 0.3 needle set. Here is a 0.4. Here's a 0.7. That way you can learn how to play with it. If you make mistakes, that's $35.
Yeah.
It's $20. It's $15. No, it's not that big of a deal. And we sell them in bundles. That way you can just grab the box and go paint.
Nice.
And we have more on the variety of the type of airbrushes, because the gravity feed airbrushes are the ones with the cup at the top. Those are great for detail because gravity pushes the paint towards the tip. So you can go with low pressure, very soft, you gotta barely feel anything, and the paint, already thin to that point, just flows right on out. The siphon feed ones are the ones that have to go at the bottle at the bottom. The pressure has to be high enough to suck the paint from the bottom of the bottle up the straw to the tip and then out.
Yeah.
You're not going to get detail done with those. Those are I'm doing something big. I need to change some colors quickly, And like I mentioned, with the 0.3, it is still very flexible. You could do a helmet. You could do a miniature. We've had people who work on like cars and like the gas tank for a motorcycle. One of our locals is doing that, and he has like 3 of the siphon feeds and then 1 gravity feed
Wow.
because he's just like, I need to change metallics. There you go. Oh, let me do candies. Grabs it. There you go. But when he's like, I gotta come in close and now do the lining that separates all of this. Like putting the base colors and then doing the line art for it. It's like backward painting.
Yeah.
It worked. That's when he used the gravity feed because he can go with low pressure, control where he goes, and if it's like, oh, I messed up, you have a very, very soft line
Yeah.
that went a little bit off. Just paint, keep going, and unless you tell someone, it hardly ever gets noticed. So we don't have that competition because we feel like the niche that is below the high quality, but still quality enough that you can buy it, you can use it, and if it breaks, if it falls, because it's a somewhat of a sensitive tool, all of them are. If anything else happens to it, you didn't lose hundreds of dollars. You lost 50,
Right.
and you have like a spare at home, so it's not that big of a problem. That's the niche that we push with the no-name airbrushes.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for sitting down here and helping hopefully guide some new people into trying some airbrushing. For anybody that does have more questions, going on to I'm assuming the YouTube channel is probably the best place to go for more videos and content.
We have a couple of videos on the YouTube channel, and we're making more and more with time. The best way for any questions to be answered is just shoot us an email. Because through the email, you can attach a video of what's going on. You could send us pictures, and we're able to respond. It's not just, my package is lost, I don't know where it is, or this thing I arrived is wrong, anything like that. We can also literally have people who are like, my compressor's making a weird sound that's this and that, my average is spitting like this and that. I'm like, you can explain to me 17 ways to Sunday. Send me a video.
Yeah.
And then when you watch the video, I'm immediately like, okay, so everything they explained matches, but watching the video, I recognize there's a valve that is loose on your pressure regulator that is apart from the airbrush. I literally like broke it down to a guy like that, like within seconds of watching the video, because I'm like, I know exactly what part that is. I know exactly what's going on. And there's so many tools out there that sometimes don't work like you think they will work, or are named in a certain way, but they don't actually work like that. So always just send us an email. We're always paying attention to those. Or if you're in the area, just stop on by. Monday through Friday, we have the airbrush expert taking care of looking at things. On the weekends, we sometimes have somebody who can get that looked at as well. But
that's Tampa,
if
Florida,
not,
right?
Yeah, it's in Altamar in Tampa, Florida, basically.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for dropping in and demystifying airbrushing a little bit for us.
Of course. One last thing that I do want to say for beginners is look into the needle size. It's very important for whatever airbrush you're using. And for the paints, what needle size and pressure are recommended. Because you will get some airbrush ready for a 0.5 needle at like 40 psi. And it's like, that's not a small needle. That's too thick paint for what I want to do. And then you have to deal with the whole thinning process and such. There are a lot of paints nowadays that don't require thinning, like you mentioned. One Shot by Ammo is a primer that can go through a 0.3 no problem. And it works on like metal, on wood, on resin, on plastic, works on everything.
Nice.
And not many people know well because there's not too much of it on the market yet.
Right.
But that's like my go-to for quality stuff. But yeah, research it. Always ask questions and never test it on your piece. Grab like, I don't care if it's like, oh, this is a 3D printed thing. I got this like porcelain thing from the dollar store. This dinosaur toy, anything.
Hot Wheels
Practice
car.
on that or just on tools. Exactly. Anything else. Or even the runners of the plastic you're painting rather than on the model.
Right.
Test on that. Take some time to study and to practice it. And never let go of the trigger when you're done with the paint. Move your finger back and forth and back and forth. If you let it go, you're just going to make a mess later and it's going to compile paint at the nozzle. And as someone who's had to clean nozzles, I'm sure you've been like clean, clean, clean. There's still paint. Clink, 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 clink. There's still more paint inside.
Yep.
That happens because so move your finger back and forth when you're spraying. Be patient with yourself. And this is a detail tool, not to blast paints like a rattle can, but to take your time, control your breathing, and don't pull back all the way. Just a little bit, and off you go. And a little bit, and off you go. Yeah,
Well-
that's it.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Not a problem. Thank you for having us here.
And we're back. So, again, thanks to Spraygunner for talking with us. Awesome time. I'm going to start playing the music, which Philip should probably hear now.
I can hear it. I hear it through the speaker. It's so great. That's been our show. We want to thank everyone for hanging out with us and putting up with our shenanigans. We're back in the new year. We're working on it. It's a work in progress. Or as Ted Lasso put it, it's a work in prog mess.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that
But-
literally dealing with the fact of like all these, why aren't these chords working? There's been so many of that. Anyways, let me actually pull back up. Send us feedback. Feedback at boardsandswords.com. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram. I've now got it like set up. It's the same thing. Don't go anywhere. We've still got more stuff to talk about. Bonus bits things if you're watching the stream. But and if you're not watching the stream, check it out in like a week. I'll have there'll be the bonus bits. It's gonna be on the free feed. But Facebook, Instagram at Boards and or Swords for both of them. That's where it is. You go to boardswords.com for links to everything else, like our Patreon. Check it out. Help support the show. We'll be back in 2 weeks with another show. I forgot to update the news or the links in the thing, but we might have a guest for the next couple of shows. I just have to confirm, but might have Alberto Dianin, who has done Gates of Cristalia, which is like a anime isekai inspired tabletop RPG. So I'm really excited to talk with them. So hopefully that ends up happening. And then we got Grant Howitt coming on the show actually later in March. So in the meantime, I went brain dead. My bad there. Brain fart. In the meantime, we'll be back in 2 weeks. There'll be another show. There'll be a bonus bits in the week after this. But remember that every gamer has a story, and I think my brain just blue screened. It's always nice when it just lines up like that.
Oh, yeah.